Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is the third episode of the Man's Garage, where we redefine man the biblical way. And you, young man there, of course, this is your show. My name is Duncan Maigwa, and today I shall be hosting two of very good members of this movement, and we are going to be redefining you, young man, in a different way today, because we are going to be discussing a myriad of issues, but we are going to specialize so much on planning. And we shall be talking to you, young man. Why do you need to plan? What are some of the areas that you need to make lots of planning so that you can be one who is mechanized in this garage today to become the man that you would wish to become? And gladly I will take this opportunity to invite or to welcome the two of my friends here. From my far right, I have Dennis. At the middle, I also have Mr. Patrick. But I think, young men, you're going to say hi to our viewers today. So we can start with Dennis.
Wow, good, how would I say, is it evening, young man, and thank you for joining us this evening. As we deliberate about the issues of men, and especially about planning. I look forward to learning much as we share with each other. I know we will also be blessed. I'm also a young man as well, so I look forward to having a fruitful discussion and see what areas can we plan and how can we make effective and efficient plans all together as young people.
Wow. Thank you so much, even for joining us to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we need to make sure that this garage becomes very active.
I agree.
And there are so many cars parked here. This is the viewer today.
Oh,
He's the young man here, and we have to make sure that they are tuned and the engines can rev in the right way. Yeah, Patrick, say hi to our viewers.
Okay, it fills my heart with joy to be the third mechanic to say hi to our viewers. Hi, my name is Patrick Mumenya, and I'm born again. I'm blessed and happy to be here today in this garage. Though we do not have spanners, we actually have them because when our tongues will start sharing all about manhood and planning, you will indeed see that we are real mechanics.
Yes.
And we would want to make sure that every young man is built up in the way of the Lord, and especially to become a man after God's heart. That's why we are Man Garage, because we redefine manhood. I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you, Duncan, for inviting me to this show.
You're most welcome, Patrick.
Yeah.
And today we have we need to have a very candid discussion on planning. We have very many young men there who maybe are straying away from the different hustles of life. And some of them are neither here nor there, they are just all over. And we find it important for us today to discuss about planning because there is a need for them to learn how to plan from the different perspectives that we're going to be discussing today. But maybe we need to have a starting point. What is planning in the context of this young man? And I think, Dennis, you're going to give us a profound you're going to dissect the meaning of planning to this young man. Then now, Patrick, you're going to come in and give us a definition of, from a biblical perspective, where are we supposed to come in, where does planning need to come in for this young man, yeah? So, Dennis, maybe we can start with you. You can kick us off. What is planning?
Okay, thank you. Let me first begin by quoting that failing to plan is planning to fail.
Wow.
That in the basic way that you would think of anything that you do in life, if you actually fail to plan entirely, you have actually cast it on stone, that you have set the standard of failure already as part of the result that you're expecting. And let me just, going back, because I am a project manager by profession, I would just say this, from the lectures we got back in school, planning is about looking at the resources that you have. Looking at the objectives you have, the needs that are there, and bringing all these together to get the desired result that you are looking at. So you're looking at, I have a need that I need to address. Well, this need, of course, has different challenges. And in fact, the need itself is a challenge in the first place. So it's a challenge already, and of course, you're looking at limited resources that can solve the need. And then you try and work around the limited resources making effective and efficient use of the same, so that you're able to get the desired result outside there or at the end of the whole project or whatever endeavor you're working on. So planning is, we're looking at, in a simple definition, I would define planning as the need to work on something, on a particular objective, while trying to solve a challenge or a problem that we have, either in the society or a personal problem, while also noting that you have limited resources, just to make sure that you have an effective and very efficient outcome at the end of the day.
So in short, you really want to mean that planning for now this young man, it generally means that they, with the resources, okay, they need to gather the resources that they need, so that they can now, with the desired result, so that now they are able to make clear plans on how they are going to make everything effective, right?
Yes.
You know, Patrick, very many young people think that when we talk about maybe planning, even though our mission is to redefine manhood the biblical way, there are people who might think that now when we talk about certain topics, we now have to deviate from the scripture because they are purely worldly systems. Is planning in the Bible? Is the Bible silent about it, or what?
In fact, listening to what my brother and colleague Dennis has said,
yes,
he has quoted, summarized the book of Genesis chapter 1. And because what I picked from his definition is that planning is building a system that will help you reach the goal that you have. This system has resources that are limited. This system has the surrounding, looking at the needs that you have. For example, if you look at the book of Genesis chapter 1, it excites my mind to see how God would bring Adam and Eve on the 6th day and not on the first day. So if you look at how God thought out the creation story, it was a well-planned strategy and a well-planned story. And God was doing everything knowing that this is adding up to make sure that by the time the 6th day is here, Adam and Eve are ready, and they have everything they need. So to say what we are discussing today, and even from the definition from our brother, planning is indeed biblical, and God is the great master planner, because he is able to help us even get the wisdom that he had during creation, and I think that's why he told Adam and Eve, especially Adam, to continue cultivating and taking care of creation. And if you look at even Genesis chapter 2, where Adam is given an opportunity to name all the animals, obviously that had to be planned. Because you can imagine every animal you know and do not know, Adam had to get a name for them. So maybe he decided, I'm going to start with the small ones, the squirrel, the rat, and then go as they get bigger, the lion, and finally the whale and the elephant. So planning is indeed biblical.
You know, some of us, I know you can all attest to that. When we were young, or maybe at our very young, let me say the adolescent age, most of us, some of the things that we used to plan for were some of maybe the wicked ways. You know, how am I going to steal some kiveri? How am I going to steal some sugarcane somewhere in the shamba? But today, of course, priorities have changed. There is so much that we really need to plan for. But of course, there are some which we can call hot issues. Some of the things that we were not taught by maybe your parent would have taught you how to plan for the Sunday attire. Make sure that before Monday, before Saturday evening, it's ready, it's clean and dry. But there are quite a number of issues that maybe our parents didn't teach us. Although maybe some of the resources were still inadequate, right? Talking about finance, talking about financial management, how you manage our finances and all that. Of course, we didn't have money. That's why nobody would see the essence to teach us how we need to plan for money. Either way, the only money that you would get maybe would be on Sunday, and that was meant for the church.
And you also get a plan on how to go buy sweets instead of taking it to church.
So of course the plan would still, we would excel in the evil plans, right? So but I think it's important for now for us to discuss. I know, okay, we've learned it the hard way. Personally, I must say so, on financial management. But planning for your finances. Do you have, let me start from there. Do we plan for finances because the resource itself as finances is available? Yeah, maybe we can start from there, Dennis. Are we going to plan for our finances because they are available? Or where do we kick off from?
Thank you, Sadan. Now, we don't plan because we have.
Okay.
In fact, I would say we get a skewed perspective of how we will do the plans, because immediate wants seem to take precedence, not immediate needs.
Come again.
Okay.
If you happen to plan when the resources are already there,
yes,
immediate wants take precedence and not the immediate needs.
Okay.
What do I mean? You haven't planned anything.
Yes.
Let's say you probably got, you went out, worked, then you got 1,000 shillings. Let me use my personal analogy. So I have just moved from Bokamete, and we've just finished doing the coffee, and then we were paid. And once paid, the first thing that came to my mind is how can I spend this money even before I get home? So I met someone who was selling sugarcane. I bought the sugarcane, bought some mandazis, of course some sweets and some soda. And by the time I was getting home, my 80 shillings was already done.
Yeah.
Having spent a full day working in the coffee farm, yet I couldn't show anything of the money that I had worked for the whole day. That's why I'm saying, if you start planning when the resources are there, immediate wants take precedence, not immediate needs.
So for the viewer who is watching us, so what you want to mean is that they need to have a clear-cut plan on their financial life, even before they have the resources that they have.
Yes, totally.
Isn't that too much pressure? Don't you think that that's really bothering yourself for no good reason?
You know what
I
think, Dan, is I have like a perfect example.
Okay, can it make you become obsessed for nothing?
No.
For something that is not there?
No.
I would actually call it dreaming. In fact, let me just say this. If your dream does not scare you, my friend, you ought to go back and sleep and dream again.
Hey.
If your dream doesn't scare you, go back and dream. Go back to your sleep and try and dream again. Why? Because if your ambition does not scare you, it means you will not have the grit to get whatever you want to get to.
All right.
So if you're always looking at, let me call it a minimalist kind of perspective, that's the kind of perspective you have, then everything that comes to you, you'll be actually very comfortable with. And in fact, what happens with that, you end up becoming complacent. All right?
Okay.
Since we're speaking to men, the need for more, it is something that God has actually put in us.
Okay.
In fact, it is something that God has put in us. You see people like David expanding empires.
Yeah.
Solomon trying to expand his reach even to Africa by marrying foreign women, just to have influence in those particular areas or spheres. So we get to see that man is made to search for more. That's what I'm saying. If your dream does not scare you, my friend, you need to go back and dream again. It should scare you, in fact. And what am I saying? Of course, there are, whatever financial plan you're doing ought to be very smart. Very specific, measurable. Of course, you will not be planning for, if you're at the age of 25, I'm not saying it's not possible, but you'll be thinking about buying a V8, right? This is around 6-8 million vehicle. Of course, the resources are a bit limited, but does not limit you to have it either as a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan. So at the longevity, you're looking at, yes, I am planning, I'm working towards a particular goal in terms of my finances. Just like we will plan in our education and say probably by the time I'm done with my 4th year or by the time I'm done with my tertiary education or college education, I'm looking at getting employment or starting a business.
So Patrick, maybe where should this young man start? Because that's the biggest question, right? Of course, they have the dream. They have the dream. I remember when I was in high school and I noticed when I was in Form 1 that I was really performing nicely. I had a book that I had even indicated maybe my expected first salary, and I remember writing in red, note that tithing is compulsory.
Oh, hallelujah.
So, and of course, according to me, with the kind of grades I was scoring, with the kind of position I was even in class and all that, I thought I should maybe get a job like almost immediately after campus and all that. But let me ask you a question, because I think there is a question of until when are these resources going to be available? But the big question is, where do they start? Because let us bring a situation whereby there's this young man here watching us, who is still seated on his bed seat, or maybe watching us through the phone, and maybe they are thinking, okay, I'm trying to plan for my financial life. I don't have the finances and all that. Maybe where does he start? Is it by writing somewhere on a paper on their financial plan? Is it by setting up their minds or trying to tune their minds towards financial success and all that? Or where do they start?
I think what I would say, and even before we get to that point, is every young man gets to interact with finances from a very tender age. For my case, my first time to get money to actually like manage is when I joined Form 1.
Okay.
Because you see, now at that point you have pocket money. And you need to plan, how much do I need for shopping, how much do I need for pocket money and for fare and for using in school and then back home.
Yes.
And at that very point, I remember I would, days before we go back to school, I would come up with a written plan. I would write what I need, which we call expenses, versus the income.
Okay.
Because I know maybe mom will give me 2,000, 1,500, and then what do I need? Then I will make sure that everything that I need to spend is lower than what I have, because obviously you can't spend more than what you.
So in short, it's like maybe they can come up with a plan.
Yes.
Against the resources that they have.
Against the resources.
And then now they can plan on how to fund the needs that they have.
Yes.
All right.
Now that is short term.
Okay.
There is the long-term plans that you need to start thinking of. And that is why Dennis is speaking about dreams and even thinking about 2 years from today, 3 years from today, where do I see myself, even financially? Because I think it is biblical to dream, it is biblical to desire growth and even expansion in terms of finances. But I think first on your list as you plan for your money is what belongs to God.
Okay.
What the Bible says, tithe and offering, bring them to my house. Now remember, in high school, what I would do is when I receive pocket money, instead of trusting my faithfulness to offer every Sunday, and I'm not in any way asking or recommending people to do this, but this is what worked for me. This is what I had agreed in my heart with God. This is my Sunday offering. So I would take my Sunday offering for all the Sundays we will be in school before midterm, or even after midterm before holiday closing, and then the tithe of what I received from my mother, and then the treasurer of the Christian Union was my local mate. So I would put in an envelope and give it to him and write tithe and offering. So for the rest of the term, or half of the term, I know I do not have any quote-unquote debt with God. I have done what the Bible says. Bring your tithes and your offerings to my house. Now, what is left, I now plan how to utilize it.
Okay.
So first on your list is, what I have realized is that when you write something, it kind of sticks in your mind. I know we have phones, and I also have a notebook in my phone, but I find writing connecting to my mind, because you see, you cannot write something you're not thinking about. So it's good to come up with a short-term plan, but also think about the long-term plan. Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. So Dennis, I think we are going now to be talking about now even now by having a plan, right?
Yes.
Is there a need for you to engage maybe someone who has gone ahead of you? Because we are talking about a young man here, yeah? This is a young man who is trying to build up themselves and trying to make things happen and all that. But is there a need for this young man now to come or engage with someone else with that written plan so that maybe they can discuss and, you know, of course, your priorities cannot be the same as the priorities of an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old, right? Yeah. But hold on, we are going to be coming back and discuss that. So viewers, of course, this and much more is what we are going to be discussing. But is there a need for you as a young man to engage maybe one who has gone ahead of you on your financial plan, and even maybe inquire whether that is the right plan for you? So we'll be right back in a jiffy. I think this is quite too much. I think this is unbearable. I think I need to do something anyway. No, but where am I going to? I think the only thing that is left for me is just to rise up and be the person I want to be. Because regardless of what I'm feeling today, I think and I know very well that tomorrow is gonna be great. And also, for you, tomorrow is also gonna be great. Stay focused and stay positive. My name is Duncan Baigua. I am live on YouTube at The Plight KE. And stay tuned on the channel. Subscribe for more and more motivation. This is One Out. Take you out. So welcome back. We are right in the garage. We are yet to make sure that we find this problem, and we have to troubleshoot this young man on matters to do with finances. Yes. You need you young man to understand that this is where I'm missing it out, and this is my strength, this is my weakness, and I have to rectify straight and back on track. We talked about this young man. They already have a plan written on a book, whether short term or long term. But this is the question: do they need to engage someone on the matters of so that maybe perhaps they can arrange their planning on a system of priority first and all that? Do you think that it's important for this young man to engage someone who has gone ahead, perhaps?
Yes, let me say that yes. In fact, that is part of mentorship, and actually no man walks alone. And in fact, if you want to go very fast, walk alone. If you want to go far, work with other people.
Yes.
So basically, what we are saying is, if for this young man, he's looking at issues to do with planning, and successful planning.
Yes.
Also, implementation is also very, very key in whatever he's trying to do. Then he needs to get someone to back him up.
Okay.
And let me just mention this. I like the story in Genesis 41. When Pharaoh dreams,
yes,
he's not able to interpret, and Joseph comes into the picture,
yes,
and we see him explain interpret the dream.
Yes.
And I like how he brings out the concept about savings. We will keep a fifth of whatever we harvest. We store it up for the next 7 years.
Yes.
For the next when during the 7 years of famine, we'll use this to save us when we have famine. And one of the things I realized is that Joseph does not work alone. Of course, he wouldn't have gone to the field and collected all that corn or wheat or barley alone.
Yes.
So he had other people coming up to help him up in ensuring that whatever they had planned works out well. And we see it works out well. We see even his brothers coming to Egypt during those years of famine, and they're able to get reprieve from the famine. So the collective thing about planning, and especially issues to do with finance, it's not just a personal responsibility, it also ends up being a bit of a collective responsibility, because there's always someone you're answering to. If it's a family man,
so you have to bring in some sort of accountability.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's someone you're accountable to, there's someone you're answerable to.
Okay.
And of course, I like putting it this way. you walk alone, you'll be eaten by the wolves.
Okay.
So get someone to help your account.
Yeah.
It becomes very easy so that you stay on track with the finances you plan.
Wow, that's amazing. What do you have anything you can add on that, on the same?
I think is just like an emphasis of what he has said, that you learn by those people who have gone ahead of you.
Okay.
You learn from their mistakes and you take the good lessons that they have been able to practice. Because you look at Paul, he raises Timothy.
Yes.
You look at Moses, he raises Joshua. You look at every person in the Bible, he had someone he was working with.
All right.
So I believe financial planning and financial management, you also need someone to work with.
Okay, that is amazing. So maybe just maybe some sort of a final thinking about this. Do we have some sort of fabric that is not in this young man or in our young men, whereby maybe even talking about finances, does the management of finances, Patrick, rely on essentials, or when I'm talking about my dreaming, about my financial life, maybe let's say it's a long term, is it about the essentials, or is it about maybe sort of, because we can talk about what is happening right now for the young men. They think financial success is when you even at least attain some levels of celebrity, at least in your area, in your constituency, if not in your village. Some of them, especially in the community I come from, some of them would consider financial success that you can go into a family gathering and you just settle the remaining part of the bills, you know, or the remaining part of the money that is required to complete a project. That
or
is
even
now
clear a table,
or clear a table in a party. Because maybe that is what we have as the dreams of maybe someone who is watching us. For this young man who is watching us. So maybe I think we need to clear to bring a clear line between financial planning for essentials or decent livelihood, or financial planning for hype. Perhaps. Or what would you say about so?
I think for me, you even look at the Bible, you get many examples of men who God placed in positions of influence. And usually I say, when I become a leader, I am a leader first to myself before I even lead Dennis, Duncan, and any other person who may be watching us. Because it is the good leadership skills that I practice with myself that I'll be able to also practice with other people. So if I am a good financial manager, that is the same thing that I will also encourage or look for when I'm looking for friends. And usually, we do not become good financial managers by amassing wealth for our own selfish gains. And you even look at the Bible condemns people who have selfish love for money, that you only desire that financial wealth to make sure that you are proud, to make sure you stand out before your peers and even your village. But God is looking for people who will be good stewards, stewards of what He has given us. And finances is one of the good resources that God has given us. So you are a steward, and a steward manages and takes care of what they have. First, to make sure that his needs are met, but you also meet the needs of people who are needy around you. And you see needy, we are not talking about people who are in a party looking for someone to clear the bill. You get? I listened to a man of God one day, and he said that God raises people to be channels. You get money not only to build your own kingdom, because if you build your own kingdom and then we are surrounding you, then we will steal from you. But what if you build your own kingdom, but also help us build our smaller kingdoms? We'll be in a whole empire, smaller kingdoms, but you'll have a bigger kingdom. I think that is the mindset we are supposed to have, to help people. If you cannot give them money, show them how to make that money. Okay? Share with them a skill. Show them, maybe sponsor them to go to a training to acquire some skills.
So ensure that to consider yourself as a financial success. You're there to impact and to influence on the positive, right? Not Dennis for for the latest outfit. You know, I remember when we were in high school, people used to save so much money. Unasikia wanasema mimi nataka kununua kisupra, you know, nikifunga and all that.
I'm a Air Force.
I'm
like,
Air
I remember
Force,
when I was in high school. Air Force was the thing. I remember this easy by the way. It's funny.
I'm actually waiting for the shaft to come back.
Aki. Like in 2009, I remember that guy. You see now, ukiwa Form 3 and then someone left in Form 4.
Yeah.
So they are coming for their results.
Yes.
That guy was wearing a white Air Force. Everyone in our class said, what? Tukitoka kila mtu unanunua moja moja.
Yes.
Unatoka na hakuna kitu unafanya. I don't know why, but yeah, I think.
Well, then it's because you know, yeah, I think.
Sorry.
Yes.
It's not bad to have many pairs of shoes.
There is no problem. Of course,
yeah,
you young man.
It's not bad.
Of course, as the young man, we are not trying to tell you that it's bad to treat yourself once in a while. But what we want to mean is that an extreme of the same is not in order, right?
Yes.
So Dennis, maybe you can help us wrap up on this, yeah. You know, talking about now, maybe this young man wants to plan on the issues to do with something to do with savings and all that, yeah. Whatever they are saving for, of course, it has to. Does it have to be in accordance to maybe whether it's their short-term or long-term plan? Because, of course, I think if someone is still struggling to feed themselves and they have a savings plan, they might not be planning to save for maybe something to do with a car or what.
Yes.
They might be planning for short-term helpings here and there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But is it possible for these young men to do savings that can finally add up in the long term, despite how minimal they are? Maybe talk to someone, maybe perhaps who is in high school or in campus. They don't have their own income from whatever they are doing. For instance, they are just receiving money as pocket money. Can they do something with that little money for either the short-term or long-term solutions for their needs of that?
Thank you. Yes, they can, and actually it's very possible. Savings is a culture. It's a behavior that you have to inculcate in yourself. So you will not have to wait till you're earning to say that I'll start saving then.
Okay.
So right from the word go, when you're receiving from even your parent, that's the right time to start saving. That's how we're able to see the faithfulness in saving actually. So if it's the 20 shillings, I believe we have the cartoon, the kamukebe.
Yes.
Yes, we might have those jumbo ones, but you can buy the cartoon. Put the 20 shillings inside, the 10 shillings, the 50, 100, 200 shillings, and probably you have a goal. I said we have a goal for it, even if it's short term. So you decide in January, and probably in December you're looking at buying probably something. Or just like the Supra is talking about. You don't want to go back to your parents and tell them, you know what, I want this Air Force 7 or probably something of the sort. And you say, I'm working towards this so that by the end of the year I have my own shoe or my own item, for example. And you find that it's that actually motivates you. By the time you're breaking that can at the end of the year, the 20 shillings you've been able to put, it comes in a lot.
There's a word you mentioned and I love it. It motivates you. So maybe perhaps it's not the amount, maybe perhaps you're going to garner at the end of it, but the discipline to do so.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
I think maybe the last lesson about what Dennis has said about saving is just to look at the example of Proverbs chapter 6.
Yes.
I know it uses a very straightforward term, but it's good to look at it because it helps you remember that if you're not saving up, you need to actually think. It says, take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. The example of an ant. And sometimes it's good to look at what they do. Even if people may not understand why you're looking at them doing so, but reminds you, you need to say.
There's something you need to do.
Thank you.
So don't become a lazy boat, not my words. Those are the words from the scripture. And well, that was a candid discussion. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm really proud of the discussion today. And of course, these are the kind of discussions that we always have in this garage. And these are the spanners that we have. These are the screwdrivers. But today our mechanics were Dennis and Patrick, just a recap. And my name is Duncan Maigo. And of course, we are going to be shooting more and more just to make sure that you remain or you get to terms with the reality of life as a man. And we are going to make sure that the coming episodes become more and more interesting. I beg your pardon. And we have opened our comment section. You can be sure to drop a comment and we are going to consider some of your comments and reply accordingly. You can also recommend on some of the issues that you would need us to talk about, you young man, and be sure that our garage will always be open. This is the Man Garage. Thank you. Goodbye.